Right, so a totally different video for this channel. We don't do very much, I don't think we do any health related videos. Now, I've been in Zante.
Go on. Free as a bird.
The second to last day, went for 11 days. The second to last day, my leg started hurting. My left leg started hurting. It swelled up a bit, started hurting. The pain weren't intense, but we ain't been on a holiday for a long time. I weren't ruining the holiday. We did have travel insurance, but I ain't ruining the holiday. I just carried on as normal, like there was nothing wrong with my leg. Second to last day. I got through it fine, I was fine. On the flight home, it was a shit flight anyway, but it was fine, the flight was fine. When I got home that evening, and we left Zante at 7:30. So 7:30 in the morning, we left Zante. Now I was probably upstairs in bed here, maybe about, what time was it? It was about 7 o'clock, so about 7 PM. So it was a long day of travelling. Time we've sorted everything out, we was up in bed about 7 o'clock, 7 PM. I'm sitting in bed, my leg's swollen up even more, my left leg had swollen up even more. I put some images up, you've seen some images. Obviously if you're squeamish of stuff like this, don't look at the images. So some images will go now, because I've just said the disclaimer. So that's how I was noticing my leg. I was laying on bed, and I was thinking to myself, I need to get this checked out. And I'm not like that. I'm the sort of person where if I've got any, I'll be the last person to go to the hospital. I'll be the last person to go to the doctor. I kind of just hope things get better themselves, which is not the best way to look at it. So I'm thinking to myself, I need this checked out. Then the wife come in, and she told me, you're getting this checked out. There's no ifs or buts. So we left. We got to the hospital about 8 o'clock. Yeah, we got to the hospital about 8 o'clock. And I got out of the hospital at 4:20 in the morning. That's how long it took. Then I had to go back the next day for a scan. It's suspected DVT. But I did do some filming while we're there. So we're going to cut in to when I leave to the hospital, and then when I get my results. This is just the opening gambit. But what I wanted to add to this is, don't be like me. Don't think things will fix themselves. If you've got something wrong with you, especially if maybe if you've been flying or you've been away or anything like that, things don't always fix themselves. Get things checked out. The earlier you get things checked out, the better. So if someone watches this and think, I'll go and get my leg or anything else checked out, then I've done my job by releasing this video. So here we go, the full story. And then maybe at the end, if I need to add a bit, I'll come back. Enjoy. So just up the hospital, after we landed on the flight, suspected blood clot in my leg. So I'll show you it.
No, he said this was hurting him a couple of days ago.
It's a couple of days ago it was hurting. And in the flight back it was hurting even more. And then when we got home, obviously, I've been told up the hospital. So I don't know what that is. But this here, this is my calf muscle. So this here, really like painful. When you touch it, it feels like cramp. That's the pain. That's the only way I can describe the pain. It's like a sharp cramp sort of pain.
I was going to leave it till tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I was going to leave it, but because I got nagged out a few times, and it's probably for the best. Get it checked out. Yeah, and I was going to drive myself, but I didn't, obviously. We'll see how it goes, and I'll update this. Right, so I'm on the way to the hospital for with my driver, Nigel Mansell there.
Listen, if you've got a problem with my driving, I said for your mum to take you.
She's very aggressive, little driver.
I've been driving him around all day long and he's not said anything till now. I've
moaned all day long about your driving. All you need is a little moustache, a little red hat.
And it's go on a superb start from Nigel Mansell. Senna goes through into second place ahead of Piquet. The two McLaren.
Right, so I'm on the way for this scan. So it's a, what did it say? It's a
ultrasound.
Deep vein thrombosis assessment. So I have a high suspicion of DVT, let's call it. So I've been booked in for a ultrasound. Now, so that's where we're going now. And I've heard that the machine that they use is almost like a small sort of rolling pin, and they have to really push it on. It's going to be painful, basically. They have to push this little roller where the suspected blood clot is, so they can get a scan of the deep veins, so not the outside veins. They want the deep veins inside to see if there's a blood clot in there. So that's what we're going. I've got my walking stick at the back, but when we get to the hospital, I think I might get a wheelchair. You give me a wheelchair out. We'll see if Nigel gets me a wheelchair or not. But we'll
See if
update
Nigel
you.
actually comes in with you. Much more of this. Why have you got a problem with my driving now?
Because you think you're Nigel Mansell.
I'm not Nigel, but this is how I drive, Adam.
Right, we'll update this after this trip to the
it's
hospital.
traffic.
Probably be there about 9 hours.
I've come the wrong way here, fucked up.
I did tell you to go the other way. Right, so I've just come out of the scan, and I'll tell you how this scan works. What they do, I didn't realise, my dad didn't tell me this part, you have to take your clothes off. So like you said, it was like I had a bath last night. So they take I've got shorts on. You can see my shorts. So I walked in, it was 3 nurses in there. I think there was nurses. So they take my shorts off, and I had pants on because I thought I might have to roll these up. I had to take them off as well. And now where the top of your leg goes, if you say this is your legs. So just put 2 fingers out.
Right, yeah.
So say this is, if you're interested in how this works, put your hand around like that. So this is my legs. Open it up a bit. Open these up a bit.
Open your legs?
Yeah. I had to sit like this. So I was completely naked, and I had a towel just covering me, tucked under like that. And what they did, right from the top of my leg, put that what's that gel. They put this gel all the way down the inside of my leg here.
Was it warm or was it
No, it was cold. It was cold, but I weren't bothered about. I weren't bothered about the cold. So loads of gel as well. And then they had this like ultrasonic, like the ones when you're pregnant, you get that scan, and they had to push it right in to the leg to try to find the deep vein. So they was pushing it in with like force, so it's being like pushed in. When it got to my knee, I had to hold my knee up like this, and I had to hold one side of my leg, and another nurse come in and held my leg because it has to really be pushed in. So that was that done. It was painful as well, it was very painful. Then they give me this, and they said go round to the Medoc. And
now this is a sealed letter.
This is a sealed letter, but it's got my name on it, so I'm going to open it and see what it says. So we're going to see this live on air, what the results are going to be.
Don't ask me to open it, because I'm not.
I'm opening it. You can hold my camera. Right, so let's see what this says. It is sealed, but
It's got your name on, I guess.
I reckon I can re-lick this. No evidence of DVT.
Woohoo!
So I've got no evidence here of DVT. Right, so I'm going to go back to Medoc. I ain't got to sit there 4 hours. I can't leave it. So I'm going to sit around in Medoc, and I've probably just got infection. So I've just come out. I've taken control of the wheel
See,
again.
I'm in the passenger seat now.
Yeah, I've taken control of the wheel. What was it called? So it is
Superficial thromboid phlebitis.
Yeah, basically. So I do have a high risk for having that, of getting a DVT, so I have to keep an eye on it. But it should be 1 or 2 weeks rest. What cream did she say?
Voltarol.
Voltarol. So it's just like an ibuprofen cream.
Which will take down the inflammation and pain.
Yep. So that's.
But he's all right.
Yeah, it's good news. That's good news. It's really good news.
He's developed a real attitude towards my driving.
Yeah, she's a terrible driver. What it is, she's not a bad driver. She can drive well. You just think you're Nigel Mansell.
Oh.
Yeah, she does.
I'll just do my thing, you know. I'll just try and get to where I want to get to. I got you to your emergency.
Yeah.
I've drove you around this whole day.
But I've
got
taken
you to
back.
your appointment.
Look, who's on the wheel now?
And this is my car.
Yeah, it's your car, but who's on the wheel? Right, so I did get my blood results as well, and my bloods are absolutely perfect. Liver's perfect, kidney's perfect. She was pleased with the bloods.
She said they're amazing.
Yeah, she said my bloods are amazing, so that's very good. I didn't know that, because you never know what your bloods are like, do you?
No.
No. So
You've had a little bit of an MOT.
yeah, I've had an MOT. So
You got your pants off, didn't you? You had to get your pants off.
Yeah, I've already said that. I think I've
You
heard
was
that.
highly
bit.
embarrassed.
I weren't embarrassed. I've got nothing to be embarrassed
Do you
about.
remember when you had to be tested for?
Yeah, I've had a finger up the bum at this hospital, and now I've had to take my pants off. Right, so that's it. We didn't have a long wait really. We've been about 3 hours in total. 3 hour turnaround. That ain't bad, is it?
Yeah, so now I'm going to go home.
We're going to go home and have something to eat. So bloods are good. It's what is it?
Superficial thromboid phlebitis.
Yeah, I'm going to go and Google check this, put some cream, and that's it. All done. Then I'll have some rest. Maybe a week or so off work. Doctor's orders, innit?
Yeah.
All right. But if you do get swelling or anything like that in your leg, you're always best to get it checked
Yeah.
out. Ain't ya?
So listen to your other halves when they say, right, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
You just go with them.
Yeah, it's best.
And you
they
never
always,
know.
yeah, they always say
that was a real worry. That was.
They do say it's always get stuff. Best to get it checked out early.
Yes.
Innit? So we did the right thing. Nothing too sinister. Your sister's word of the day.
Yeah.
And there we go, done and dusted.
Yeah. Worked out all right in the end.
Yeah, worked out all right. Well, so you see all that. I thought I'd add a little bit more to it at the end. You see all our filming when we was out. So it was superficial. I can't say it. I can't even pronounce it. I've been trying to pronounce it for 2-3 days now. Now it is. I've done my Google research on it. Superficial thrombosis peritonitis, something like that. Right, I'll add this in here of how it's actually pronounced because I've not got the best pronunciation skills.
Superficial thromboid phlebitis.
So that's what it was. Now it's not a DVT. So when they do the scan, they go right into your leg. So when we had the scan, I know you've seen it, but when we had the scan, I turned up and I thought, I'm going to be clever here. I know they're going to ask me to take my trousers or my shorts down. I knew that was going to happen. And with tracksuit bottoms or shorts, I won't put pants on, I won't put boxers on. But I did because I thought, I know what's going to happen here. They're going to say, pull your trousers down, son. Walked in there, 3 women in there. It don't matter whether they're male or female, but when it's women, sometimes you get a bit more nervous. 3 women in there, trousers down, son. Shorts down. I'm like, I've got this. I know this. Took my shorts down. They looked at me and said, and pants. I had a corner. But don't be hung up about this. We need to get things checked out. I had about that much corner of a towel covering me up. Because like I know I showed you on wife hands, but that was me covered up by the towel. The towel was about that big. And then they have to go right into the groin to find the vein, the main artery vein. And then they check the vein all the way down and they check the blood flow of the vein in your leg. It's not a pleasant experience, it's painful. They have to push like, you know when you have you're pregnant and you get the scan on your stomach, it's that sort of machine. They lube it up and that, but they have to push really hard in. Like when my knee was bent like this, I had to hold my leg and then another lady stood there almost like resting against it. They have to push that hard into it to try to find the vein inside, the artery inside. They found that blood flow's fine. The blood flow was fine on that. It is related to a blood clot, it's on the outside. So they kind of said, because our flight weren't that long, it was only a 3-hour flight and it happened almost over a week into the holiday, it was more just probably brought on by a trauma, could have been a insect bite or something that's affected the vein. That's kind of how they were seeing it. And I asked them, is there any way you can prevent this? Obviously there is. If you've got a healthy diet, you're going to be less prone to it. But she basically told me, the doctor basically told me, luck of the draw. It's luck of the draw whether you get these things or not. So, time being, I'm going to be off work, just completely healed because it's still swollen up. I'll show you how it is now. It's still swollen up, extremely painful. The only pain relief I've got, the normal ones, I've got nothing special. I've got the normal ones, I've got some ibuprofen, some aspirin, some paracetamol, some cocodamol. Obviously not having them all at once. And I've just got some gel that I'm putting on it. It's almost like a ibuprofen gel. Nothing really seems to be working, and the pain's like a cramp sort of pain. So if you've ever had cramp, it's that sort of pain. But we're getting on with it. There's been cocodamol, that's all I'm having. Just the standard stuff you can get in the shop. There's no special paracetamol or tablet that's going to make the pain go away. Just got to deal with it. But I find if I walk about a bit, the pain eases off. If I sit down for any length of time and I try to get up, it all goes tight. You feel like you're stretching the veins. So when if I sat down for 10 minutes to a couple of hours, when I get up, it feels like all the veins are like this. And when you're walking, you're stretching the veins out. It's a horrible feeling. Still swollen, like I said. I'll show you how it is now. But the recovery time should be 1 to 2 weeks. So there we go. Remember, if you get anything like this, especially if you've been on a flight, you need to get it checked out, because if it's deep vein thrombosis, if it's a DVT, that's where the clot can travel to your lungs or your heart, and then you're in trouble. That's when you're in trouble. If you've got DVT, which is a clot in the vein, that can travel. That can travel, and I don't know how long it takes, but that can travel to your heart and your lungs. I've been told this by doctors, because my one's on the outside veins. Them ones don't normally travel. They're not concerned about them travelling. But there we go. Maybe it's a wake-up call to get a bit more healthy. But I had my blood result tests. I had my blood, all my bloods. My liver's fine, kidneys are fine, everything's fine. She got the screen up of all my bloods, and they done 4 vials of blood. She had them like this. Or was it 6? They done a load of these vials of bloods. They had it all like this, all my bloods. She went, your bloods are absolutely amazing. I think she used the word amazing, the doctor. So it was almost like a bit of an MOT, because everything else is fine. No diabetes, no issues with any organ, because they tested all this. No infection, because it was secondary, it could have been infection. Nothing at all. Perfect bloods. Just slight blood clot. Superficial thrombosis from both. Nah, it's not going to happen. You lot take care. Here we go. Different sort of video. Hopefully get better 1 or 2 weeks, and I'll be back on the road. See you next time. I'll limp off.